Alpha males. One of the most skibbity kind of males, uncommon to mankind, settling right below that of the lone sigma. The difference between alphas and any other kind of male is that it's only the alphas that can rizz up all the girls. Urban Dictionary defines alpha males as, the biggest arrogant, an insecure little female dog with a small peepee? Dude, the beta males have infiltrated the Urban Dictionary now. Those betas and their technology. How cringe. Let's look at the real definition. To be alpha is to be strong.
Nice.
Is to be dominant.
How did you do that? I'm the alpha.
So here's the premise. Can we beat Tears of the Kingdom as an alpha male? Now I know what you're saying. Obviously, that's a yes. Okay, alpha males can literally do everything. But how do they do everything? How do they function? How do they work? That is what I'll be showing you in today's video. So let's get to it. For the start of the alpha male run, we actually have to begin from where we left off. Now I know what you're saying. How is that possible? You were a beta when you did this run. Well, allow me to teach you something. You see, every alpha was once a beta. However, not all betas become alpha. So with that, our goal is to transform this beta male of a Link into an unrecognizable alpha male. And how do we do that? Allow me to show you. The first thing to do in order to become an alpha male is to start an alpha male podcast.
Alright, so now what I want you to do is, ladies, real quick, don't waste my time. So I want you to rate me, my co-host, and then our producer. Go, from 1 to 10, just our beauty, go. Okay.
I'll give him a 9.
Okay, what is your?
I'll give him a 10 because he likes me.
You sound like a stupid bitch. Why are you rating me a 2? Because we're not going off our interactions, we're going off beauty.
I don't like light skin.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm just kidding. That's actually for beta males in disguise. What it actually takes to become an alpha male is much more complex. In Link's past, when he was a beta, he didn't have any motivation or energy to do something that he needed to do. So to be an alpha male is clearly to do the opposite. It is to find the motivation and energy when you have nothing left to give. It is going against your own laziness, fighting your mind and body. So we're gonna go get that 5th stage. But first, let me take off these beta clothes. You know, everyone knows being naked is more alpha than having no drip. Now doing the 5th stage quest, I had to first ascend up this rock. I had to first ascend up this rock. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Now that we're up here, I don't have a camera. I went to this scientist dude to snag a camera, and instead, he was so intimidated by my alphaness that he had to disappear. Chasing after his footprints, I finally found him, and... Thanks for the camera, stupid. I'm out of here. Okay, instant revenge. Alright, let's try leaving again. Who does this guy think he is? This guy's not alpha. How could he stop me in my own footsteps? Whoa, this guy's immune to my attacks. Could he be this guy? He might just be the lone sigma that people have been rumoring about. I must bow down to him. Now back at the Skibbity village, I took that picture and tried to show Purah, but my alpha male dominance over her was so great that she couldn't even manage to look at me. I then spoke to the dude on her left, and he saw my alphaness and asked, could it really be? Like, hello, yes, it's clearly me, the alpha male. Now that we could head to Dracozu Lake, I, like an alpha, got back on the grind and did some endurance exercises. Thanks to the paraglider, I was able to strengthen my arms by holding on to it, fighting against the wind, coursing through the air, like a jet, like an alpha. Alright, I'm sorry, that's enough. A couple times I grew tired, but instead of stopping like a beta, I pushed through and just added some fuel to my gas tank, also known as my mouth for beta terms, and I was able to glide all the way to Faron Woods. After legit 10 seconds, I was able to recover from that insane exercise, and to be honest, I could do it again if I had to. Now that we're here, I needed to unlock the Faron map. Being the alpha male hero that I am, I heard the scream of a poor beta, and I set out to save him. I found the beta, and I released him from his captivity, but then I put myself in his footsteps, just to prove a point to these betas. If you're an alpha, like me, there's always another way out. But if you're a beta, you wouldn't even acknowledge it, you'd say it's impossible. But looking at me, clearly it's not. Later on in the quest, I was given a zesty shirt, so I wore it just to prove that alphas don't care about fashion. The game put a doo-doo stick on my head.
What the Sigma?
Fit check. Check out the fit outfit of the day. Skipping ahead now, I made it to the gate. Because I was an alpha male, the gate opened no matter what my health was. After this, I snagged the helm, and I made an alpha wing. I mean, dude, look at this thing. This is literally alpha.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Now that is alpha. And this is how alpha males land. To be alpha is to work hard and exercise, growing our muscles in order to looks max. So to be alpha, I walked the weight down the aisle, and I then used it for a lifting session, and I did 3 sets of 10 reps for clean and press.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in
1990.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Like it's some more in my veins, my
Spaghetti.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours.
After that, I did 5 reps of kettlebell throws.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
And lastly, I did a bit of cardio by using it as a treadmill. Now for the temple. Did you really think I would talk about this? Dude, this temple is so lame. Okay, wait, actually, just before we skip, I would just like to mention that on the way, I found queso.
Excuse me, what?
I didn't get an autograph or anything, but I thought it was pretty cool.
What does that even mean?
Now for the boss fight. I, as an alpha male, easily beat this boss due to being the bigger alpha. Now that it was over, I used my alpha attitude and my new drip to rizz up the old sage lady. She fell in love so hard that she gave me a ring. Now rizzing up Pura, I tell her all about how I rizz Minoru. However, rizzing up one girl doesn't mean that I'm an alpha. So, because of this, I reflected on myself a little bit, and I realized I needed the Master Sword, because how can I be alpha without the Blade of Evil's Bane? So I went to go get it, and in the process of getting to the Lost Woods, I thought that this chasm was the one that would bring me to the tree, and instead it brought me out to Eldin, which is really weird. I didn't know that alphas could have beta moments. After this, I looked up where to go, and it turns out that the chasm was right here. I'm so stupid, bro. I forgot that the depths reflected the overworld. And the only connection on the overworld is that little thing right there. I spoke to the tree, and he gave me the dragon tracker. So now, all I had to do was chase it around. I went to Gerudo, chased after it, and yeah, no, I didn't get it. After that, I teleported to this tower, and I chased after it again, and hold on. You know, this kind of reminds me of Fortnite. So I chased after the dragon again, and then I lost it again.
Finally! I've been trying to
Get the Master Sword.
all day! Now that I've got you right where I want you, I'd like to
Take the Master Sword.
Before taking out the sword, I took off my clothes to dominate over the dragon. I pulled the sword out of her, and now I became the ultimate alpha. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. Now that I had the sword, I noticed something was off. My drip level, it was at 0%. I needed something. Something flashy. Something alpha. I know just the clothing that I need. To become the strongest alpha male in history, I would need clothing resembling a long time past, back when the moon was falling out of the sky. First, I found myself at an abandoned castle. Because I'm such an alpha who's not afraid of anything, I ventured inside all alone, and I discovered the first piece of clothing. Second, I fell into a creepy cave. So ominous, so interesting. I climbed up a bit and I found my second article of clothing. Lastly, for the final alpha quest, I flew to Skull Lake, and with just a little boost, I was able to enter the tall rock. I went inside, killed some weakling betas, literally beta because they have no muscle, and I obtained the last piece I needed. Now with these 3 items I can say, I look drippy. What's even more alpha about this is that these clothes actually give you max attack up, and the descriptions of these clothes say that it gives me godlike powers. Now that I had my drip, I felt like an alpha. At least, that was until I noticed that I was missing the last piece of the puzzle. The Hylian shield. That beautiful, sweet, unbreakable shield that takes infinite damage and also looks drippy, I didn't own. I didn't even know where it was. So I went on a journey to find it in the castle, and then these hands were in my way. I tried to run, but the hands were persistent and just kept grabbing me. So I did what any other alpha male would do. I called up the whole gang and I showed them these hands. One by one, they all died. And with the new Master Sword, I easily beat the Phantom Okay, wrong clip. I easily beat the Phantom Ganon. Ew. Did he leave his poop here? After all that, all I had to do was use Yunobo to light the torch, and there it was. Now, I was all dripped out, and I was also ready to fight Ganon. Well, actually, I think there might be one last thing to do. To become an alpha, I first had to go to Ohio and rizz up Livy Dunn. I found this lady who kept dropping bottles in the water, and it read out saying that I was the one she was looking for. So I pulled the bottle up from below and I spoke to her. From just that conversation, she fell in love with me, and using my rizz, I got her to go on a walk. She then cooked up a meal for me and said that she'd cook for me forever. Dude, what a true alpha woman. A lady that cooks for you and tries her best to please you. That is alpha. Alright, let's try out the food now. Whoa, it tastes just like a Grimace shake. Okay, I'm dying. Before the end, I had to stack up on food for health. Sundelions are great for healing yourself from gloom hearts, but only beta males can eat a vegan diet. So to be alpha, I went out into the wilderness and I hunted prey, gathering their meat to consume whenever needed. I also found some bokoblins for my no arrow challenge, and they're carrying a ton of meat in their pouch. After the hunt was over, I mixed meat with sundelions, and then I got the benefits of Gloomheart recovery and health. And now I can say that I have a very beautiful and carnivorous inventory. Now for weapon preparation, I needed nothing for long range attacks, because I wanted to use no bows or arrows whatsoever, because that's specifically for beta males. So here's the plan. The plan is that for every fight, I will have to fight with honor, using only a sword and shield in hand. And for extra honorness, I will only attack when my enemies are up and able to defend themselves. With that, I fused some swords, and I was ready. It's been a while since I perched this ledge. Heading down, I encountered my first set of monsters, the Sucky Socks. I wanted to fight them and kill them with honor, but they were just too far for my sword to reach. And that meant that the first set of enemies were Horriblins. While there were many, I managed to beat all of them with only one scratch. After that were some beta keys, to which I passed without issue. And now, it was time for the first alpha encounter. Out of respect, I notified the Lionel of my presence, and I faced it head on. To be respectful, I used my most powerful weapon. However, it ran out of energy halfway, so I had to resort to a normal sword anyway. For the fight specifically, due to my sufficiency and experience, he wasn't really that hard. It was just a bit time consuming. Now it was time for the ice enemies. At first, I didn't think I could kill this worm thing because it was on a weird slanted angle and my sword wouldn't really be able to reach it. But then I realized I could just toss fire at it. And then I swung on it until it died. Not sure if that's beta for, a long range attack, but I wasn't getting up there any other way. Now for that old Liesel foe that caused me so much trouble in my beta past, I wanted to prove something. Since I couldn't use bows, I hid away from the lightning arrows while I fought the other one, and then I killed the other. In the fight, there was a moment where he struck me with an arrow as I jump attacked, and I don't know, I thought that was cool. Now for the Gloom Hands and the Phantom Ganon fight, I definitely ate some food. The Gloom Hands just kept grabbing at me as I fought, and I couldn't help it. And for the Ganon fight, I kind of just wasted time until I could forge a weapon. Next was the Silver Moblin, which I literally just spammed. He may have hit me once, but I got other fish to fry. For the next few enemies, I was just like, Dude, just get out of my way. Now, at the final dive, I fixed up some weapons, and I flew down to the final rush. What a beautiful cutscene, with all of the sages together. The enemy rush went pretty good. I literally just one-tapped every bokoblin, and then I easily beat the Lizalfo and the Gibdos, and then lastly for the moblins, I either just dodge and weave, or I just one-shotted them. Now, let's get on with it. Goodbye, sages. Here comes Ganondorf. Ganon transforms and tries to out-look-smacks me, but he doesn't realize who the real Alpha is. The real Alpha is not the big bulky beta that screams and shouts the loudest, but the strong who keeps silent until he has to show his strength.
How about this? What a feeling.
In the midst of the battle, he uses multiple versions of himself to fight me. However, in my beta days, I already had learned how to avoid enemies like him. Now somewhere along the fight, my Hylian shield broke. Confused, I swapped out to my other shield to continue, but then I thought to myself, you know what? To be truly alpha, I don't need a shield. So I continued on, and he hit me. He hit me a lot, but my determination, my persistence, and my dominance was far too great. It was far too alpha. Soon enough, he was done for. And like a beta, he threw a rage fit, and then he lost his body and mind over a tiny piece of land. At that point, I already knew it was over. There was nothing he could do now. A couple cuts to his boils, and one to his tear, and it was over. I just realized Link gets naked for this scene. Okay, no, he's not naked, he just wears only pants. That was it. We did it. For the ending, Alpha Male Link catches Zelda in the air with Riz, and they successfully splash in the water. For the final cutscene, Link rizzes up Zelda even more, and she refers to him as his home, because every girl feels comfortable in the safe shelter of an alpha male's arms. The end.